Hi everybody, we're back in the studio. Today we're going to do a little background first, and then we're going to do a bokeh effect, and we are also going to put in a hummingbird with a floral pattern here. So what I wanted to do is I made a background color, and I used Liquitex Gesso White, and I mixed a little orange in there. I don't know if you can see that. What I used was this acrylic orange right here, and I mixed a little bit until I got the color that I wanted, and I'm just going to paint the back of my canvas here with that color. It's a pale orange. I just want this background in here just to give it a little bit of pizzazz. Instead of using the burnt umber background, this might just kind of pop it a little bit. It's kind of like an experiment. We're going to see how this works with the pattern that I'm using. So I'm going to do this, and I'll probably speed up this part here so that you can just get an idea of what it is. And I'll have all this listed at the bottom. It depends, like I said, how deep of a color you want. It's just a very pale orange that I'm looking at. Then this has to dry, of course, and we will let it dry, and then we can begin our painting. So for now, I'm going to stop talking, and I'm so glad you're with me today, and I hope you stay with me here today, and as we go and continue our little hummingbird. Okay, so we're back here, and this is all dry now, and we're going to start our colors to begin with. Hopefully this does not run. We're going to use titanium white, cad yellow medium, and phthalo green. Now phthalo green comes in various types here. Now I had gotten this a while back. This was on sale, because phthalo green, they decided to change it and make it into phthalo green yellow and a blue shade. So this is the yellow shade and this is the blue shade. I'm not exactly sure. One looks a little lighter than the other. And when I did my background, I didn't show you this, which I would like to show you now. Okay. This is Liquitex. That was the gesso that I used. It comes in a small bottle. It comes in all various sizes. But the thing I like about this gesso is it's a liquid, and it's just easy to put onto the canvas. Some gessos are kind of thick, and you know, which is fine. I mean, that's a good gesso as well. But for this type of thing, I think the liquid gesso, Liquitex, is much better. So I guess we're going to start our painting now. The other thing that I wanted to show you also that I'm going to be using is the golden acrylic glazing liquid. So I didn't put that out on my palette yet because I didn't want, when I show you the colors, I didn't want that to kind of run, because it does run. It is liquidy, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to start, in order to get this background, this bokeh effect, I am going to start with a large, what I actually put this on with, and I don't have a size on here that I can see, but it is a bright, and I'm going to use this one to start. I think it's probably a 12. It's either a 10 or a 12. So sorry, I don't know the size on this because it is old, and I like this brush for many reasons. And putting the background in it is what I really enjoy doing also. All right, so let's start. We're going to mix some yellow. I'm going to pull it out here. Mix some white. Actually, I'm going to mix quite a bit of white in here. Sorry about my head. It'll be out of the way in a second. And then I'm going to pull some of this glazing liquid into it. Alright. And I'm going to start right in the middle here. And bring this all the way out. Just like that. Get a little bit more white, a little bit more yellow, and some glazing liquid. Get a little whiter. I want it to be really bright in the center. Okay. Now I'm going to add the green. I'm going to wipe my brush off and just go into my phthalo green. And that's alright if there's some yellow on my brush. That won't hurt anything. I'm also going to have a sip of my coffee, so here it is. Okay. Going to use some glazing liquid with that. And start to just bring it in here. Now I think I'm going to actually put some of that phthalo blue shade. I want to see the difference here of what happens with the phthalo green blue shade. It is a little darker, and I kind of like that actually. So I'm going to go into my glazing liquid, go into that phthalo green. It seems to be a little darker. Just kind of like spread it. Well, it's about the same, I guess. About the same. Let me get my sides here. Make sure I get those. Now, what I'm going to do, let me get some more of this on there. And, okay, it's all in different directions. I want that look. Now I'm going to get a little very blending brush. It's very soft, and I'm going to blend this very lightly. So you're just going to go kind of across, just like that. And you get those little, you see those little, just go lightly, lightly, lightly. Just lightly. Now, and that's all right that we have what we have here. We're going to add some more of the yellow into that also. Want to get some of these sides some more. We definitely want to go on the sides of our canvas. Get some more of the glazing liquid. Now what I want, my hummingbird's going to sit in here, and my floral piece is going to be on this side. So lightly go over it again, just blending it very nicely. You want those little areas of roughness, so that's why I'm going in different directions. That's really important for this painting. Just get my little sides here. You know, I'm a stickler for the sides. Now, I've done several other paintings also with this effect, not with the same colors, but I have done them, so It's all good. Now I'm just wiping my brush. I mean, we're still using the green, but I just wanted to wipe off all that paint. Using some more of the glazing liquid. Okay, I want to put out a little phthalo blue. This is the green shade of phthalo blue. This is probably another thing where they have made different, there's like several types, blue shade, a green shade. But since I am using green, I'm going to plop this out here. Maybe I'll stick it over on this side right here. I want to add that little bit of blue just to give it some contrast because I would like that better. Little bit of contrast, get some of that glazing liquid, kind of just plop it in here like that. And what I'm probably gonna, this is starting to dry already, which I didn't want it to do, but that's all right. We can still get it in here, and we're gonna lightly go over it a little bit. I think I want some in here too. Just scrub it in. Scrub it in. I kind of like the phthalo blue. It's just one of my things, you know. Phthalo blues and greens. I like those colors together. And it kind of darkens it up, you can see. So we're just going to go just very softly, blend it. Just blend it softly, the brush. Okay, now I'm going to clean that one. I'm going to start out with a new brush. Okay. And, okay, get some more of the green and glazing liquid, as you can see, and put some. I'm going to start over here. Make sure you get all the edges too. You know, that's really important. You want to get those edges with the green here. So it's another hot day today in the Pittsburgh area. We haven't had any rain for a few days, which is really strange. I mean, we usually have rain, and we haven't had any for a couple days. And that's all right too. I want to get this background in so we can let this dry. We're going to do that bokeh effect with it, and of course we're going to have that hummingbird right in the center. Let me get some blue here, blue and green, and just mix that on there. Now I have another kind of blending brush ready to go as I get this one on. I'm actually going to do something with that too, so that it's another soft brush. This is a 1-inch wash actually, and most people, what they do with this is they kind of, well, I don't like the way that's going. My blending brush that I had before was good. Now this is a chip brush. I've never used this one yet. It's brand new. So we don't want those lines in there, that's for sure. Just slide it, goes very soft, very soft. All right. We are going to blend in some more of the yellow. I want that to blend out a bit more. And get some more of my phthalo blue, a little bit of my glazing liquid, get that in there, kind of get it where it's all together, and not to forget the sides. Make sure we get those. Okay, let's blend this. Just lightly, lightly, just go lightly, lightly, lightly. Just to blend it lightly. I'm going to wipe it off. Paper towel. Look at how beautiful that looks. That really does look nice. Now, you'd have to be in my studio to see it really good, but it's very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to rinse off that brush, because I really like that one. Or maybe I will pick up another one here. I've got, this one's a Filbert actually. Oh no, it's a bright, I'm sorry. This one is a number 10 bright. I'm going to get my yellow and more white. You can see me mixing it on the palette. I want it pretty light. And I'm going to pull some of my blending glazing liquid in there. Now, I'm going to go over some of this here, kind of just like bring it into these areas. Just scrub it. Scrub it in there. Now, because that dried, it's going to be a couple coats, I guess, because I don't want that to be like that. And then we'll just get that little chip brush, make sure it's dry. Make sure it's very dry. You want to make sure there's no moisture. And we'll just blend that out. Yeah, it's not going to blend okay. Oh, we might have to put more paint on it. Let's see if we can get it with this brush, because it's a little stiffer, so this one here might work better. There we go. You just want these to like kind of meet each other. Meet each other. Well, alright, so we're going to probably go over this again with a little bit of green. I really am trying to get that to, oops, actually a little green in here, this right here. I may just end up getting some of that green and blue, blue and green, blue, green, a little bit of glazing liquid, just kind of come in here. Bring it out. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Very nice. Very good. Okay, let me get some more of my yellow. Rinse out my brush. More of my yellow. And I have a little green going into that yellow, which kind of like helps too. Now I just want to get this a little lighter here still. I just want this to be nice and bright. I'm going to add a little darker. Oh wow, that's just not going to work for me. Huh. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just go like this, like that. Get some of that green and yellow mixed up together. I want to bring out some of that yellow into this actually. Kind of gets out like a nice greenish effect. We're going to have a flower over here anyway, so I'm just worried about, more than anything, the bird, where it's going to be and everything. So let me get this dried up. Some more of this blue. Just tapping it in around there, just to get that halo effect. And I'm going to get another brush, and I want to make sure that this looks a little smoother also. So I'm gonna just kind of work it, just to work it out. A little bit more glazing liquid here. Just get it around here very lightly. And I'm going to get some more glazing liquid on my palette. Alright, so after this is dried, I'm noticing that I might want to make this some lighter areas here. So I'm going to get my, I believe this was that number 10 that I was talking about, and I'm going to go into some yellow, maybe some more of my glazing liquid, and I think, I think I'm going to come down in here a little bit more with that. Now this is pretty bright. Let me get some more white. Sorry about my head. Just kind of like getting some of this out into this area here a little bit. Come down. Just lightly. Just skimming over it, just kind of getting my glazing liquid in some white. And I am going to use that little soft brush that I had and just go over it lightly with that brush. Just very lightly. Now, unfortunately, I can't go much further than this until I get my delivery. I want to make little bubbles here. But, you know what, I could use my daubers too, my sponge daubers for that. Just lightly move it around. And perhaps get some of my green and come back over this a little bit. That makes such a beautiful light. And like I said, I'm going back and forth different ways here. I just kind of like that look of it being a little bit messy. Let's see here now. I'll just go over this a little bit more here. Let me see if I can adjust this so it's straight in the camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to rinse this out. wipe my brush, my blending brush. Just kind of blend it out a little bit more here. Very light. I'm just doing very light blending. And I do want to put some green and yellow in there. Right here. I like that color. Phthalo green with some yellow. Just lightly blending it in. Light touch, not very heavy, not a very heavy stroke. Going into the straight green, maybe a little bit of that blue also. Just to get a little darkness through here, but I'm going to have my flower over here, so it's not going to matter much, I guess. And I'll just blend this a little bit. Softly touch it, just blend strokes. Make that all blend together. Blend. Oh, that looks pretty. Now up here in this upper left-hand corner, I'd like to have some light coming through. So I'm going to mix my white. You can see this in the split screen. I'm hoping to be able to do that with some of my phthalo blue. Kind of just give it a little bit of sunlight up here. And get some of that blending liquid here. My glaze. Okay, now just blend very nicely here. Soft. Softly. Actually, it's bringing it on down, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what I want, to be blended very nicely. Kind of coming into the sun spot here where my bird is going to be. Okay, I'm going to rinse that out again. And I am going to put some very white just in this area here. Remember, that's where I came in with that green. But I do want to have this light here. And that's okay. If it's got a little bit of blue in it, that's fine. But I do want this to be a lot lighter. And I will blend in some of the other shade too. Wiping my blending brush, making sure that I get all that out of there as much as I can. Okay. And right in here, I'm really not happy with that. I'm going to go into my glazing liquid, kind of just smooth over it a little bit. Bring it out, and then I'm going to go into my green and kind of come back into it like this. Okay, there we go. Of course, we'll be using this again. So just to blend it out and into that other shade there, that yellow. Blending it very lightly, hardly touching the canvas with this. Hardly touching. Might have to get another blending brush here, because this is starting to... Okay, there we go. All has to come in like that. There we go, there we go. A little bit more up in here. Get a little bit of that blue. Blend it in there. Lightly blend it. lightly. If you have to tell yourself to do this when you're doing it, do it. Blend lightly. Cleaning my brush, and I'm going to go into my glazing liquid so that I can get that a little nicer than it is right in here. I don't like the hard line that we have here. And this helps to blend it in a little bit better too with the brush. Wipe that off. Let me get my other blending brush here. I think we'll just use this very lightly. Just very lightly. Like I said, talk to yourself. Talk to yourself. Make sure it's nicely blended. Nicely blended into all these various colors. Oh yeah, I like it. Right here, I'm gonna go a little harder. Maybe just pick up a little bit of that blending liquid here. Ooh, nice. Okay, that's it. That's the way. That's it. The glazing liquid just does what it says. It helps to glaze things over, and you don't get that line. You know? Okay. This is fine because, like I said, we're probably going to blend in some more of this after. But right now, the center here is what I want. And once this dries, I'm going to trace out the pattern. And that will be available on my website as well. I might just like to get a little bit more. I'm not sure here. Let's see here, just in through here a little bit more. Just lightly put it in and then blend it. Let me get some of that glazing liquid to help me blend it better. Now let's see here if we can get this lightly blended over here. There we go. Okay, a little bit more of the glazing liquid, and I think we'll just have that as it is. We got the light coming out, and I like it the way it is. I do. So, try to get this all blended right. So I think we have this, we're just kind of blending more here as we go, getting this all blended out so that it like is a blur. You want it to be blurry, and I'm just blending through it. Okay, so I'm going to get a clean brush and a little white and yellow with some glazing liquid. And get more of that in the center here. I want that to be really bright. Really bright. So it takes a little time and it takes a little work, but eventually you get it to where you want it. And this is so much fun. It's just so much fun. Wiping my blending brush off and just slowly going over it. Just kind of blurring the situation here. We want it to look blurry. Okay. All right, so when we get our little bokeh, we'll put the bokeh effect in pretty soon. We're just gonna stop for now, and we'll see what happens after this. Thanks for watching, and keep watching. We'll have the second part soon. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more of my blending liquid out. And I'm going to find a space here that doesn't have any paint. I'm going to need some more of this pretty much. So we're going to start doing some blending here. And I'm also going to put a little bit of my burnt umber out just for a little depth here. I want to get a little depth and darkness in my background here. Now I like how this is coming along. I might add a little bit more of the lighter color here. I think that I want to do that. So I'm going to get a little bit of my blue, a little bit of my burnt umber, and now we're going to start to glaze these things here. There we go. I want a little bit of darkness. I'm going to pour out some of my glazing liquid, and really I do want to get my glazing liquid just to be a glaze. And I have a number 12, and I just have it on the edge, and I'm just going to kind of come in here and just kind of move my brush around backwards, forwards. I don't want any of those lines to show, but you can see I'm just going very, very lightly with this, because I just want to glaze it. I'm going to pick up some more of my glazing liquid. Glaze over some of this. I want this to like really look like it's out of focus more than anything. Now over here probably I don't have to worry too much, but I'm gonna put it on here anyways, because I just want this to have that nice. Now see, there's like too many brush strokes here, so I'm gonna pick up just the glazing liquid. I'm gonna just lightly go through this, just so it will glaze over. And you have to do this while it's still, you know, still pretty wet. Just lightly. And I'm gonna keep working at this to get it to where I want it. Now over here is gonna be a floral pattern for my hummingbird. Just using my glazing liquid and what is on my brush. Just lightly going back and forth, up and down. Just back and forth, up and down, up and down. And I'm going to get some of my white now. Sorry I keep bending down in front of the camera, but I have my other camera set up over my paints, and my head keeps getting in the way of my paints, so apologies for that, because I want this to be really nice and light, because this is our sky. Remember, this is our sky, and we can add some more glazing liquid. I want this to be kind of brighter over here. a little bit brighter. Get some more of my glazing liquid so I can blend that very nice. Now, I didn't clean my brush. I'm just going right into it. And you can see that there's a little bit of blue. It's picking up some of the blue background here. Lightly, lightly, lightly. This here is the sky, so we want that to be a little bit brighter up in there. Now I'll go back into my dark blue brown mixture. Bring that into that. Just light, very, very light. Very, very light. You don't want to press hard on this. Don't want to press too hard. Okay, get some more of my blue brown mixture and glazing liquid. Come up here. Kind of move around this a little bit. Probably going to go into that a little bit brighter because I still want a bigger area for that. Getting in the corner here. So this is a little bit more difficult to do. It takes a little bit of practice. But the outcome, a little bit, I'm mixing a little bit of my phthalo blue with brown again and glazing liquid. But the outcome is so beautiful and the effect is so beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit more blue, a little bit more brown into my glazing. Maybe a little bit more blue here. Go into this. I like the edges a little darker. So you're going up and down, across, kind of just like blending it every which way so that you don't want to see any of your brush strokes. It's a key to this. Just to make it look blurred. I think that looks pretty nice. Now I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to rinse out my brush. Get a paper towel. Now some people use a rag, but I kind of like my paper towel. It just, for me, it's better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some white. Excuse my head again. Grab some yellow. Make a very pale yellow. Grab in some of my blending liquid. And kind of go over some of this here. Just to kind of make it a little bit brighter. Kind of go over some of those areas there. Same principle, just grab some of the blending liquid. That blending liquid is your friend here on this one. It's your friend. You want to use that quite a bit. I might just go into my blending liquid after I get some of this on here. See how bright that's starting to look? That's what I want, a little bit brighter. Without any kind of, I don't want any brush strokes here, so I'm just going to go into my blending liquid, bring it out. Oops, I gotta get those brush strokes. Do not want those. And that's what you want, some kind of like a halo effect almost. Just lightly back and forth, bringing it out. Here. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Something that looks a little fit, unfocused. It has to look like it's unfocused because that's the way it is with the Bokeh camera. When you blur out the background, and then the front part is the part that you're trying. Oh my goodness sakes. What you're coming to look at, that's what you want. You want that front part to be in focus. So right now we're looking for the hummingbird to be in focus and the flower, but the background is going to be the part that gets out of focus. So I'm going to go grab a little bit more of my blue here, kind of just blend it with that. Okay, so that's that part. Now, what I've done is I prepared a few stencils. Let's see, I got these right here. 2 circles. One's kind of big, if you can see that, and then I have a smaller circle, and this is going to be our background bokeh effect. So we're going to get like these little daubers. I think we showed you this before. Now you can use these straight. You can actually use these straight, or you can just use it to daub the paint in here. So I'm going to start out with my larger one. I am going to go into, I think I'm going to go into my blue brown mixtures here. Well, just go straight into the blue. Just go straight into the blue. Pick up a little glazing liquid. Okay, so I actually dried the background a bit. I wanted to make sure that, you know, it was completely dry before I traced on my image. So I have my floral pattern here, my hummingbird here that I've traced. I also put out new colors on my palette. I cleaned up my palette. I kept the glazing liquid because I probably will need that since my studio is so hot and warm, even with the air conditioner on. So the colors that you're going to need for this are, I put out Naphthol Crimson, a bright red. I put out Phthalo Green. This is Golden Phthalo Green, the blue shade. I put out Chromium Oxide Green. I also have, that's the Chromium Oxide Green. I have Deep Yellow, that's the Phthalo Blue. This is the red. I have white and I have black. So these will be the colors we are going to use for this painting. So let's get started. I'm going to start out with painting the floral part. We are going to do that red, and I am going to get a bright brush, a nice small bright, if I can find one here. Here we go. I'm going to use this one, and it is a number 8 bright. It is a Princeton paint brush. Now I like my brights because they do help as far as getting the background, and I'm probably going to change this around for my next video because my head keeps getting in the way and I'm just not happy with that part. So I'm going to go into my bright red. Now I'm not sure how this is going to show up on our painting here. It might be a little dark, So we may have to use a couple of coats. The other thing that you can do with this is you can put white on this part if you feel that you don't like what's happening. And we could do that. I would just use like probably like a gesso or something to put on this part, just to but I wanted to get that background and to show you just how to blend it and how to prepare the background for your painting if you ever are doing a bokeh effect. There's a lot of artists here on YouTube that do this. My favorite is Cinnamon Cooney, the Art Sherpa. She does wonderful work with that blending. So you might want to check her out. Not that I want you to leave me, but you know, we're artists and we all learn from one another. And you always learn a different trick from somebody else, you know. You can learn some many good things. So I'm just gonna I'll let this dry and then I'll put another coat on. And let's see here. I'm gonna go this way. So try to go sort of like the way your leaves are growing with this. There's gonna be another leaf out here also. Get your sides. Don't forget your sides. And because my paint is kind of drying, I'm gonna grab a little bit of my blending liquid here. Now I want to dedicate this actually to my mom who passed away. She loved hummingbirds, and she'd always watch for the birds come spring. Like, she always looked for the robins, and she couldn't wait for summer too. We love summer, both of us do. Even if it's hot like it is, I'd rather it be hot than snowy and cold. I don't think anybody, well, I guess there are people that like snow, because people in California, I'm sure they do. Since, you know, they're always in the warmer weather. They don't realize it's warm, but it's a lot warmer than we have here in Pittsburgh. Of course, the weather's been changing a lot with all the climate changing things that are going on. Yeah, I think I'll probably have to put another coat on, but it kind of gives you that little bit of depth in some of this too. I'm going to grab a little white because I want to kind of, like, before this dries, just get a little white around the edges here. And maybe just kind of blend that in with some red. Get a little bit of my blending liquid. So you're going, you know, you're going to be painting this the same directions, like make the curves, like here, just curve it, blend it in. Blend it in. I may actually use a softer brush because this is not doing exactly like what I want it to do. Make sure I get that, and then here a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to change my brush. I'm going back to my number 12 Simply Simmons flat. We'll try this and see how this goes on. Actually might do better. Yeah, I'm still finding my way around setups here. I think I have my camera in a good spot, but now I have to figure out where to put my palette and be able to show what I'm using with my other camera. Like I said, my studio's kind of tiny, and it's kind of hard to paint sometimes. So I'm going to get a little white, use some of my blending liquid, and kind of come down like this with that. So you don't see the strokes of brush strokes here. We want to just go nice and light. Okay, so let's get the big flower in that petal mint in the middle. Just grabbed a little bit of my blending liquid just so that I can blend it a little easier. Bringing your strokes downward. And it's okay if you cover up your little stamens. You can always put those back in. More of that red, a little bit more of my blending liquid, my glazing liquid. Okay, a little white on my brush, a little red, a little bit more of the glazing, and we're going to go around here. Oops, I'm just lifting it right off. Just going to drag it through here. Excuse me. And a little bit more white. Drag it in, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Okay. And right in here, we're just gonna pull that right in there, like that. Just add a couple little lines through here. Now right in here, I'm gonna have to do this again because it is pulling off. And that could be because we have the glazing liquid. to paint this little part here also because I want that to be a little darker. And I'm using a smaller flat. This is number 4. Actually, it's a bright, but I've used it so much that it's almost, you can't even tell that it's a bright. Okay, there we go. All right. So I'm going to get that and work on this again. Get that in there the way I want it. You have to excuse my phone. My daughter is on vacation and she's telling me where she's going right now. And she's all excited. And her sister is responding, so we do that occasionally. There we go. Maybe that'll look a little bit better. I might actually, bring this up like this one. Well, that might even actually be better. So I'm going to be putting in more paint so this all blends better. It can be one of those big, huge petals like that. And I'll be adding more paint. But that's the gist of that one. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to work on this flower some more. And I'm using my big brush here. Sorry about my head. Just get some of that in there. Just tap it in there. And I'll add a little white to this. Okay, in here I want a little bit of white. Okay, around here. All right, and what I plan to do here, I'm going to get some of my black. And I'm going to use my smaller flat. Wow, this is actually a bright, number 4 bright. Going into my black. I kind of want to make right in here a little dark. Okay, so this is going to be some darkness here. And I actually shouldn't have put some in there, so I'll have to go over that a little bit. But the stamens are going to come out of this portion right here. So I'm going to bring that right down to that other petal, like that. I am going to grab some of my red. Make a little mixture here of a darker red. Actually add a little brown. Get some of my red. I'm mixing it. And I want to put it right in through here because we want this to have that little bit of darkness right in there. I'm going to grab my bright here. Kind of just put it in, drop it in. We want to be able to decipher that this is another petal. So you're going to need a little dark to do that. So I'm going to continue to mix here a little bit more. Just put it right in there like that. Blend this out. Blend it in out there. Actually, there should be a little bit of darkness right in through here, which we already have almost from our work that we've done. But just to make it a little bit more crystal clear here. Okay. And right in here. This is dark in through here. And we're going to actually add a little bit more of the black here. Getting that just a little darker. A little bit of black. Okay. Same in through here. Just to make that little adjustment, actually put a little bit more black in through this because we really want that to pop or separate. I'm going to pick up a little glazing liquid here and just smooth it a little bit more here. Just want that to blend somewhat better. No brush stroke looking like a brush stroke. Okay, now I am going to highlight this a little bit better. I'm going to put in a little bit of Cad Red Deep on my palette. I want to see if I can get that a little deeper red, but not that it's like a brown shade. I just want to get that deep red in there. In here. Okay, that looks good. Get a little deep red coming out here. Perhaps in some of these areas also, so that I just don't want that green to be coming through on our floral piece here. Okay. And usually towards a petal, it is a little darker in these areas. When you get down into the center portion of the flower. And this just kind of helps to make it the way I want it. This is separation here. Okay. Bringing that out. Okay, now I'm going to get like a little liner brush and make my stamens. And this is a number 2 Robert Simmons round. I'm going to grab some black, get into my glazing liquid, and my stamens. I like that this one came out like this. You always want to round your brush in the paint. Grab a little water for myself also, because I really want that to be like ink-like, and it is pretty thick. So let's see, we have 5 of these little stamens here, and one come out of here. Ooh. Kind of meet each other. On my brush. Oops. Now, if you'd like to see me do a painting, just send me a comment. Also, I hope that you would like and subscribe to me, so I can keep on going. I'm not sure if people are really liking this. I get some real strange mail from people, and they want me to use their music, but I am not going to do that because I don't know if they're legit. They could be, but I don't want to take a chance on that, because if I use someone's music and it's an original piece, that'll just really not be too good. Okay, I'm going to put these little yellow spots in here. The stamens. They're sort of little ovals. I'll put one right here also. Here's one. And I'm just using the same brush. There we go. We got those in. Alright, so now we're going to actually paint the black portions of our bird. And I think for this part, I'm going to use a pen. And I will get that, and we'll use that and see how that works. Okay, so what I did is I wrote for Mom in there, so because that's for my mom. And I'm going to I have a black art marker. It's a canvas paint marker. And everywhere that there's black, I'm going to use this marker, because I want to be accurate with this. Now, you have to kind of get that to work, move, that it works. There we go. Now, if I'm in the way, I hope I'm not. Just making the beak. This little hummingbird. Okay, and I probably will have to go through that with a pen, pencil. Right in here, we have a little bit of a black. I want to get all the black that I can. And it comes up in here. Okay. Now the other areas that are black are through here. But this just makes it a little easier for you. You don't have to use a fine brush. You can just mark it in. And you have it marked in. And the lines are nice and crisp. And it looks decent. I mean, it's easier than using a small brush, which you have a hard time with usually. So that's why we want to use this. So this is getting colored. Well, let's just outline it here. And through here, we are going to make it this way. Okay. Now for this, we're going to have to really wait for this to dry because we don't want to put our paint on top of it. And have it look bad. But it's just like using a paintbrush, but you're not having to stress over it as much. Because believe you me, painting with black and you don't want to screw that up. Just makes it a little easier for you. And let's see, we've got this that comes over like this. I want to make sure that gets in there nicely. Sometimes you just have to shake it up a bit. Shake it up. And let's see, right in here. Okay, seems like I may have forgotten one here. This is all black. This part right in here is going to be all black. When I paint, I like to do it as easy as possible, but yet it doesn't look amateurish. And that's something that you want to do too as you paint. You want to get better at it and make it nice for yourself and make it easy. Easy. That's what you need. Easy, easy. Okay, and this comes down like this. These two touch. We're gonna come down, 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 down. Okay. That's just a little split in there, and we're gonna make that black too. Little something different. You can pop in the eye. We're gonna make that a little dark too. Make it nice and round. This comes up. Whoa, there goes my canvas. Not too good. Yes, I hope you do like and subscribe to me. Send me some photos. I have my email address or my Facebook page. Post them to that. I'd love to see your work. Love to see if you're doing any of these things. I mean, these are all fun paintings. They're easy, but yet they look like they're more involved. And maybe for you they're not easy, but you know, we just want to make sure that you're understanding what you're doing and that you are enjoying what you're doing. Okay, this is another thing here. Ooh, did I get black on my hand? This comes over like that. Just a little line. Okay, there we go. That was paint. That's actually black paint. When I put my paint away, I put saran wrap on it, and I'm getting it everywhere. Oh, my palette fell off. I guess I kicked that too. All right. So we're gonna wait for this to dry a little bit, and we'll be back. Okay, so I got a little round brush, number 2. I'm going to mix some black and white and make a beautiful little gray. So I'm pulling some of my black and white and I'm going to mix it. I want it to be a little bit lighter. Okay. And we're going to paint in between here. Very carefully. Very carefully. Okay. Now we want to, actually I'm going to add some more black to that. I'm going to get my black pen. Whoops. Black pen. Shake it a little bit. You want to have this come down here a little bit. Okay. All right. And we are going to paint the underbelly, the gray. We're going to also paint around here. So let me just get those little things here. And I think that's, yeah, that's gray. Pick up some more paint. Twirl it. I'm going to get a decent point on there. Okay, I'm being a little quiet, sorry. I just want to concentrate, make sure that I'm getting the lines in the right spot. You're almost drawing these in instead of painting them. Okay, let's get his little belly. Gray. I'm going to get some of my blending glaze here because it's just so warm in here, and if I put the fan on, like I say, usually if I put the fan on it'll even dry quicker, so we don't want that. We don't want it to dry quicker than it already is. Okay. Now the other part we're going to go. Okay, so our next step in this process is to, we got the gray paint in there. I'm going to paint some of the feathers on the bottom here gray with that mixture that we already had made. And I'm going to use my number 2 round for this. Okay, and we have the gray mixture here. And I think I'm going to use a little bit of my glazing liquid. It's a little dry from being in the heat. So let me see here. I want to paint this about halfway up here on the tail. Just paint right in there. Like that. Just come down a little bit to cover up the gray, the black that's there. And I'm still using my glazing liquid, as you can see. Okay. Make this round too. Round. All right, and then this piece here, I did make this a little extra too wide here, so I'm going to come down and fix that piece right there. One of the nice things about acrylics is you can fix your mistakes. That's okay if it was like that, but I don't want it like that. Oops, I went up a little too high there. All right. Covering in some of those other areas that are showing through with the green or the yellow from the background. And I can go over those little black areas also. Probably will do that here because I want that to be a little darker. So I'm going to grab some paint without the glazing liquid. Okay. So we have all the gray parts in, and now we're going to take that number 2 brush and we're going to start to paint in the body. And what we want to do is get the phthalo green. We're going to make a mixture of the phthalo green and some of the green oxide. We want more green oxide than phthalo green. So let's get that out. Make a nice big batch of that. Grab my phthalo green. I actually need, well, actually it's 8 and 8. So we want equal parts here. And I'm just going to mix it with my brush. Take any excess off. I do not want all that on my brush up at the top here. I like to keep this part here clean. It's always better to do it that way. I'm going to continue to mix this here. Okay, now we're going to paint. Come down a little further on this with the green. I think we want to come down a little closer here. There we go. I may even come down a little closer than that. Actually, this should be just a tad of the gray showing. So let's fix that like this. More paint. there we go. That looks good. Yeah. Okay, things are starting to shape up. So, now we're going to rinse our brush, and we're going to paint some highlights on the tail. So we are going to use our round brush set number 2. This is a time when I'm going to actually use that. Make sure all the green is out of there. Now I have two tubs of water here. I rinse it out in one, get it clean, and then that stopped. Okay, so what I did here is I highlighted the body and the feathers. I am highlighting now some of this area here where his little tail is. I am going to highlight his body here. I'm going to come straight down here like this. Have that little bit of green in there, and kind of make it look like his like meat here. Okay, and have this come out a little bit, just a little bit from there, a little bit of highlight. Also, I'm going to come up a little bit more with this, almost like they meet, and right in here. And I'm going to have to go over some of this with some more green because the green is not showing too well. Now I'm going to come in here with this a little bit, just part of the way, not all the way, part of the way. Part of the way. Okay, and this all gets to be a little bit more green here. Now I'm going to go back into my mixture of green oxide and phthalo green, and I'm going to come down here because I want this to be nice and dark where it comes through. Fixing up the head here. Let's see. Yeah, we got a little piece that's right in here with that green. Okay. And I want like a very green yellow here. I want this to come down like this. Right in here, just a little bit more highlight on the feather, his wings, his little wings. Okay, that looks pretty nice. I like it. So let's get a little bit more highlight in through here, a little bit more right there, maybe even a little bit more yellow to that. Here also. Now you're almost dry brushing this. If you notice, I don't have a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just kind of like dry brushing. Put some of this around the eye. Maybe come down a little bit more in here. You don't want a heavy hand with this. So you're just kind of like going with the curve of the head, making this look more dimensional. And around his eye, I'm going to put a little bit more yellow because this should peek out a little. Even up and through here, just a little bit more yellow. All right. Now, in through here, I want to add more of that red color. So I'm just going to use my small flat bright number 2. I want to get this very close to his beak. I'm going to grab a little bit of glazing liquid just to get this moving easier, better. His beak actually should be pretty narrow. Hummingbirds have pretty narrow beak. If you ever watch them, if you have a bird feeder, hummingbird feeder, and you see how they are, you'll notice that they're pretty thin beaked. Okay, and I'm going to grab my number 12 flat. I'm going to mix a little bit of pink and do this a little bit better here. I see some strokes of paintbrush, so I want that to be fixed up a little. Also, I'm going to highlight this a little bit more. I want that to pop out. I want this to pop out. And, okay, we gotta kind of come around with that also. Oh, let's see. This is good. Get this up here. Pop that out a little bit here. Okay. Now, since I popped those out, I gotta get a little bit more red in there. Sally, my little doggy, came in to watch me paint. I want to get a little bit more of that pink close to the beak. So let's see here. There we go. There we go. All right, now let's see, what else do we need? We need a little highlight in his in the eye. So what I'm going to do is get the back of my brush. I'm just taking the number 2. I'm going to put it into my white. Like that. You can see the white on here. And I'm going to just tap his eye like that. Give it a little bit more oomph. Maybe I gave it too much oomph. We'll go over that a little bit with some black. There we go. I'm coming in here and just going through my black again, just to finish it up a bit. Just to finish it up. The areas where I kind of went over with the green. These don't have to be perfect, but you just want them to, let me get a smaller brush, possibly. Yeah, that small one somewhere. Oh, let's see. Maybe I don't have one available. There's one here. Here's a nice small one. This is also, it's a round. I don't know what size it is because it's pretty well shot here. I'm going to get some of my black, some of my glazing liquid, roll my brush, and just kind of go down. Put those lines back in where I painted over them. Those are the little details you need to have in here. Okay. Pick up a little bit more black, get it over here. Now, I kind of want to have some of this also, just a little bit of a edge. Little edges, just to put them back in to make it look a little bit neater. Just to neaten it up. These are the final little touches that you'll need just to neaten up your painting. And I kind of want to connect these a little bit. Because right now it doesn't look like anything's connected to these little areas right here. Like that. That looks nice now. I like the way that is. Looks more like a feather now that it's connected. And I think I'm going to go over that just a little bit more here. I want to highlight that a little bit more. Just because I think it needs it. And I'm going to get more of my glazing liquid into my paint. I'm using my number 4 flat or bright just in through here a little bit more. And I think we can call this done. I think so. Just highlighting it in these sections here a little bit more. Okay. And maybe just a little bit more of that green right in through here. Just a little bit more. Just a bit more. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you come back, and we'll see you next time.